G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good day. As you can see in front of me, I've got the HoSpeed HS10423 out with me again. Now, you would have seen in my last video, I tested this on 3S and the stock ESC gave out as far as it burnt out the steering servo. So what I've done, I've put the electronics out of the XLF F16 buggy. Now that was a 550 brushed buggy, and I'm not really sure what the rating was on the ESC. I think it was a 45 amp. I ran that one quite some time ago before I went brushless on it on 3S, and there was no issue. So that's what I've done, guys. I've got the ESC in there. You probably can't see it too well with a 3S LiPo. All right, so I'm going to give it a bit of a bash test here. That was what my plan was for the fourth video on this one, was to see how well it jumps. So, run on a different car's electronics today in order to do so. Now this is running on 3S, guys. My 2250 30C discharge LiPo. So hopefully this one doesn't burn out. If it does, I'm not really too worried about it. Okay, so seems a bit tail heavy with the weight. I did press the brake mid-air then. And the brake really doesn't do much for it as far as leveling it out. Whoa! Can take a beating though. This is a bit of a durability test. But it is tail heavy, as you can see, because all the motor is in the rear, see? Now I won't be going brushless on this, guys. I've decided not to. In my very first video I said I probably would, but I don't see that it's worth putting a brushless system in now, especially since the spur gear and the diff crown gear, possibly the inside of it too, is all plastic. Well, I know the spur gear is and the actual diff is, but inside's probably plastic as well, those spider gears. So it seems to be handling 3S all right on the XLF electronics, but as you can see, there's hardly any control once you put it up in the air like that, which is unfortunate. So I pressed the brake early on as soon as it lifted off the ramp, and while it just stopped the rear axle, I'll do it again. It didn't do much in the way of leveling it out, but can take a hammering. Still a decent entry level, you know, cheap truck. I give it that, it is landing on its wheels after it's tumbling. That was a good, decent landing. I mean, it is rear-wheel drive only, don't forget too. And you know, it's not doing a bad speed now on the 3S. On 2S it would be a lot slower, especially on a field like this. I mean, I got 29 k's an hour in my first speed run video after I reviewed it. I've got a playlist now for this, guys, so you can check out the playlist. I'll leave it in the top right hand corner of the screen right now. Okay, so pretty decent durability test here. It is getting a hammering every time it lands because it's landing tail heavy most of the time. But taking a hammering. So as you can see, I'm using the XLF transmitter just to show you guys. I'm not using the stock electronics anymore because they, in the last video, it just couldn't handle it on the 3S, even though first time when testing it at home it did, which I explained in my last video anyway, so check that out, guys. If you're thinking about 3S on the stock electronics, I say don't bother. You might get lucky, but I don't recommend it. So this is purely durability test today. Battery's getting a bit flat now. Okay. So, doesn't look like anything's broken. Oh, also, I greased the shocks, guys. I opened up the shocks. I put some grease in them. Before I forget to mention that. The shock's just a guide, nothing special. You can't put oil in them, obviously. They got no seals or diaphragms, but I did fill them up with grease. So that seemed to help dampen the bumps a bit better. It's not going to be like oil-filled shocks, but I don't really think this car is worth putting that sort of stuff on anyway. Just run it as is. All right, looks like it's getting pretty tired now. I'll do a couple more jumps and I'll call it a day. She's slowing down a fair bit now. Nothing's broke, which is good. Yeah, she's just about done. It's really going to LVC pretty much. This will be the last one. Here we go. Whoa, all right. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. She's slowing down. So no point running it flat. So anyway, guys, quick durability bash test on the HS 10423. Okay, I am running the. Let me just show you what I've done. Just quickly, I had to extend the wires out for the motor. So, as you can see, this is actually coming apart. So I've got a 3S in there, and basically I had to put Velcro straps to keep the battery in there. That actually moved around a bit. Yeah, just running the XLF F16 brushed buggy ESC and servo. Now the servo, stock servo, had a really long wire that goes all the way to the back because the ESC, the stock ESC, was mounted here. So for this purpose, being such a normal size length wire for the XLF servo out the front here, I just had to extend the wiring to meet the motor at the back. But it works. I mean, it works on 3S, this one. So that's what I was running on, guys. As you can see, it's a 3S. Okay. 4 wire, 22 50 LiPo in there, one of my old ones. Right guys, so anyway, that was a durability test, nothing broke. Let me have a look. Let's see. Nothing broke on the suspension. No damage at all. So it can take a beating, guys. Like I said, I just put some grease in the shocks here. Some of the grease has come out. I don't know if you can see that there in the sun. There's a little bit on the spring there, but it did help it dampen it a bit. It's still a bit bouncy, but especially on the back. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's the durability test on the HoSpeed HS10423. Alright guys, so yeah, if you want, check out the link below if you're interested in this one. I'd recommend put it on a high C rated 2S rather than 3S, especially on the stock electronics, unless you want to muck around and, you know, put one of the other electronics sitting around. Maybe you got some spare ESCs and so forth that you can, you know, upgrade this so it can handle a 3S. But on the stock electronics, like I said in my previous video, do it at your own risk. I can't recommend putting it on 3S because it did burn out the servo and basically the ESC as well, the chip that controls the servo. So that ESC is just in the garbage now. So alright, so yeah, I'd just suggest if you're gonna run it stock, you know, put it on a high discharge 2S and maybe a larger 2S, you know, because you can take that center partition bit out. Alright guys, so anyway, links are below if you're interested in this one. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Okay, check out the playlist as well if you like. I've added it during this video on the top right hand corner of the screen, and I'll add it at the end of the intro here. So if you stick around to the end, you can click on the link there for the playlist of this truck. Alright guys, have a good day, and happy RCing. Bye for now.